but the world hadn't forgotten them. As they lingered in the glow of firelight and new love, a shadow passed across the window pane. Thin, skeletal fingers dragging along the glass. The whisper came faint, almost drowned by the fire. "She belongs to me." Neither of them heard it. Not yet. The night was heavy with silence. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of expectation, as if the house, or perhaps the universe itself, was holding its breath, waiting to see what choice they would make. Elena and Clara sat in the small cabin they had taken refuge in, miles away from Blackthorn House. The storm outside had dwindled into a soft drizzle, the raindrops tapping gently on the window like timid fingers. The fire they had built crackled, bathing the room in amber light, turning every shadow into something softer, almost inviting. Clara sat across from Elena on the worn rug, her knees pulled close to her chest. Her eyes glimmered in the firelight, reflecting a storm that no weather could explain. "You feel it too, don't you?" Clara whispered, her voice trembling. Elena looked at her, the mask she so carefully wore in the world beginning to fall away. For once, she didn't answer with calculated precision or investigator's logic. Instead, she let her truth slip through her lips. "Yes," she said. "I feel you. As though I've always known you. As though every road I've walked was only leading me to this moment." Clara's lips parted, her breath catching in her throat. She hugged her knees tighter, not from fear, but from the intensity of what Elena's words awoke inside her. "I used to dream about someone," Clara admitted. "Even before Blackthorn House. I could never see her face, but I always felt her hand in mine. The way it steadied me. The way it made me feel like I belonged. When you came into our lives, I realized it was you." The fire popped loudly, startling them both. But neither pulled away. Instead, Clara tilted her head, her dark hair falling in loose waves across her face. "You scare me," she whispered. Elena's heart twisted. "Why?" "Because you make me want to stop running from myself," Clara confessed. "You make me want to surrender, and I don't know how to do that without losing everything I've been trying to hold together." Elena leaned closer, her thumb brushing gently over Clara's knuckles. "Then let me hold it with you," she said. Her voice was low, but steady, an anchor in the storm. The words were a promise, a confession, and a vow. Something broke open between them then, like a dam giving way under too much weight. Clara surged forward, their lips colliding in a desperate, searing kiss. It was not delicate. It was raw, hungry, filled with all the unspoken words that had been festering in silence. Elena's hands cupped Clara's face, pulling her closer. Clara climbed into her lap, straddling her, as though the space between them was unbearable. Their breaths mingled, quick and uneven, and every brush of their lips carried the electricity of lifetimes rediscovered. For the first time in years, Elena let herself be vulnerable. She wasn't the investigator, the stoic protector, the woman who faced horrors without flinching. She was simply Elena, aching, yearning, alive in Clara's arms. Clara pulled back for just a moment, their foreheads pressed together. Her chest heaved as she whispered, "I've wanted this since the night in the library." Elena's lips curved into a rare smile. "So have I." Their mouths found each other again, slower this time, more deliberate. Clara's fingers trailed down Elena's jaw, her neck, resting over the steady beat of her heart. Elena's hands slid down Clara's back, memorizing every curve, every trembling line of her body. The firelight danced across their entwined forms, illuminating the passion that was more than physical. It was something ancient, written in their bones long before either had been born. The cabin became their sanctuary. The storm outside faded into nothing but background music as though the world itself was giving them permission to exist in this moment alone. When they finally pulled apart, gasping for breath, Clara's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "I don't want to lose you," she whispered. Elena pressed her lips to Clara's temple. "You won't. Whatever this darkness is, whatever it throws at us, we face it together." No more running. No more fear. Clara's hand slid over Elena's heart again, feeling its rhythm, steady and fierce. Together, she echoed. And for the first time since the shadows had begun haunting them, they both felt something. Stronger than fear, a hope. Their love, fragile and new, had become their weapon. The storm returned with vengeance. Not the kind that rattles windows and shakes trees, but one that seemed to rise from the very earth itself, a trembling, unnatural rage. Elena and Clara stood at the edge of Blackthorn House. Its silhouette loomed against the bruised sky, the twisted gables and broken windows glowing faintly as though the house itself was alive. Clara clutched Elena's hand. Her knuckles were white, but her grip was unyielding. "It's waiting for us." Elena nodded. Her jaw was set, her eyes sharp, but beneath her resolve was a steady warmth, the fire of Clara's presence at her side. "Then we give it what it's been asking for," Elena said. "No more shadows. No more fear." The ground trembled as they stepped inside. The air was thick, every breath tasted of ash and blood, of centuries of despair woven into the very foundation of the house. The walls whispered. Shapes flickered in the corner of their vision, faceless. Figures, mourners trapped in eternal grief. "Do you feel it?" Clara whispered. "Yes," Elena said. "And it feels us." They moved deeper into the mansion, each creak of the floorboards echoing like a warning. The grand hall stretched before them, and at its center stood the entity. Not a creature of flesh and bone, but a storm of shadows, twisting, folding, collapsing into itself. Its eyes, if they could be called eyes, were two pits of endless hunger. The house groaned around it, walls bowing inward as though being pulled toward the void at its core. Clara gasped, her nails digging into Elena's hand. "It's stronger than before. Because it knows we're its end," Elena said. The shadow surged forward, the air ripping apart with its movement. A scream, not human, not animal, pierced the hall, shaking the chandeliers loose. Glass shattered, raining down like deadly crystal rain. Elena shoved Clara behind her, drawing the iron dagger she had prepared. But as she raised it, the shadow lashed out, sending her sprawling across the floor. The blade skittered out of reach. "Elena!" Clara screamed, running to her side. She pressed her hands against Elena's chest, her own body shielding her from the next strike. The entity paused, as if savoring their fear. Its form bent, shifting, voices rising from within it, mocking, cruel echoes of their deepest doubts. "You will fail. You cannot stop me. You cannot even save each other." Clara's heart pounded. She knew it was trying to unravel them, to pit their fears against their love. She turned to Elena, her voice breaking. "Don't listen. Don't let it in. You told me once, together." Elena's eyes snapped open. She reached for Clara, pulling her close. Together, she breathed. The shadow roared, its form spiraling outward, filling the hall with suffocating darkness. And then Clara felt it, an ancient tug inside her chest, the same pulse she had felt in dreams, in visions, in every moment she and Elena had touched. She gasped as realization struck. "It's us," she whispered. "We're the key. Not iron. Not fire. Us." Elena looked at her, bewildered. "What do you mean?" Clara pressed her forehead against Elena's. Their breaths mingled, steadying each other amidst the chaos. "It feeds on fear. On despair. But we are something else. We are the opposite of what it is. That's why it's been drawn to us all along." Elena's eyes widened as the truth settled into her bones. Love. That was the answer. Not a weapon of steel, but the fire between them. The shadow lunged, but this time, they didn't run. Elena and Clara rose together, hand in hand, facing the darkness head-on. They closed their eyes and remembered. The first time their hands touched in the library. The stolen glances in the hallways of Blackthorn House. The desperate, breathless kiss in the cabin, where fear had finally broken into desire. They let it fill them. Not lust, not fleeting passion, but the raw, defiant power of love, the kind that binds souls across centuries. And the shadows screamed. The entity convulsed as light burst from their clasped hands. Not a blinding light, but a warm, golden glow, like dawn spilling into a long-forgotten night. It spread outward, swallowing the darkness, pressing it back into the corners where it had once thrived. The walls trembled. The ceiling cracked. The house began to collapse under the weight of its own unraveling. The shadows shrieked, splintering into fragments, each piece burning away in the glow of their bond. Its voice fractured into cries of rage, then into silence. The mansion groaned one final time and fell still. Dust filled the air, thick and suffocating, but amidst it stood Elena and Clara, their bodies pressed together, their hands still clasped, their eyes wide with awe and exhaustion. "It's gone," Clara whispered, barely able to believe it. Elena nodded, brushing a trembling hand across Clara's cheek. "We did it. You did it." Clara shook her head. "No, we did it. Together." They sank to the floor, holding each other as the ruin of Blackthorn House settled around them. Outside, the storm broke. The clouds parted, and for the first time in weeks, the stars shone freely in the sky. Elena pressed her lips to Clara's hair, breathing her in as though she were oxygen itself. "It's over." Clara leaned into her, her voice soft but resolute. "No, Elena. It's only the beginning." They looked at each other then, not as two women bound by circumstance, but as two souls who had chosen each other, even in the face of darkness. And though the house was dead, though the shadows had been vanquished, their love burned brighter than ever. A love strong enough to defy even the abyss,